Good evening from the newsroom. The news for this Friday evening. The Anti-Corruption Commission has filed a motion in the Supreme Court to amend the charges on the indictment faced by Mukesh Valabji and Sarah René. The application is to amend the charges faced by the two suspects, including the substitution of charges and bringing additional ones.
The 14 proposed counts against Mr. Valabji now alleged theft, official corruption and money laundering amounting to approximately $100 million between 1993 to 2012. Mrs. Rene faces proposed allegations of money laundering between 2002 and 2012. The lawyers representing both suspects indicated that they would be opposing the application to amend the charges. The next hearing is on the 27th of this month, by which date their defense lawyers are to have filed their written objections.
The new salary structure for public service employees will start being implemented this month. The Ministry of Finance and the Public Service Bureau met with the media today to explain the new salary grid now that the National Assembly has approved it. In this revision, some allowances are being consolidated in the basic salary, and after that, a 10% increase will be added. The Secretary of State in the Ministry of Finance, National Planning and Trade, Patrick Payet, says that the Treasury is finalizing the processing of all government entities' payrolls to ensure the smooth implementation of salary payment starting at the end of this month. Mr. Payet says there is still work going on with regards to public sector employees' salary. Meanwhile, he is advising employees to verify their next payment to ensure that it is in accordance with the revision and to report any anomaly to their employer.
We encourage all employees so that at least at the end of the month, when they receive a copy of their payslip, and if they feel that they need to discuss a bit further with the HR officers or even the supervisor, please go and discuss and advise if there are any anomaly that needs rectification. And also, we feel that maybe the HR officers in our organization, they need to continue that discussion with all employers to make sure that they are au fait with the new salary table. And as well, we will be working closely with Public Service Bureau to review all scheme of service to ensure that at least it is very clear for all entry point for all cadre in government. There will be further works because one of the objectives as well is to minimize maybe the number of allowances that are included as part of our total salary. One of the other work that we'll be doing in the next 1.5 years, 2023-2024, is a market survey, so that at least we establish the exact salary of each post in government.
And the Chief Secretary of the Public Service Bureau says that the new salary structure is one that aims for better performance in the public sector and is encouraging employees to give their best and be rewarded accordingly. She also explained the decision to make public sector salary an administrative matter rather than it being in the law.
As technocrat, we felt that this was necessary for us to remove politics in the public sector, especially where salary is concerned. This was welcomed and approved by the Cabinet of Ministers and subsequently the National Assembly. This, for the time being, will be for non-constitutional appointees. For constitutional appointees, there is ongoing work being done, and at the right time, when this work has been done, we will invite the media again and we will present further information.
Police have seized several objects, including weapons, objects related to the use and trafficking of narcotics, as well as scooters, amongst others. These are seizures that were made during recent operations carried out by the police, as well as during joint operations with the military. Weapons seized by police range from scissors to machetes. However, most of these weapons included knives used aboard tuna fishing vessels. Other items seized included telephones, several small digital scales, as well as several scooters and bicycles. Police Commissioner Ted Barbe says the weapons were seized from people themselves, from their vehicles, during stop and search operations, as well as during community fights.
It is very alarming, in fact. Over the past few months, we've had, I don't have the statistics with me right now, but we've had incidents whereby people have been injured with offensive weapons during violence and disagreement in the community between members of the family and also neighbors. So this culture is not for Seychelles. We were not used to seeing weapons just everywhere like that. And especially in drug situation whereby when we conduct operation, we see a lot of those weapons around. So we are discouraging people from carrying those weapons on their bodies and going to discos with weapons. The intention is clearly that if you're going to discotheque or restaurant or even in Victoria for shopping, you have a weapon, an offensive weapon on you. It gives an indication that you have a very bad intention carrying those weapons.
The president of FIFA, the governing body of world football, Gianni Infantino, paid a courtesy call on President Wavell Rumkalawan, who is also the patron of the Seychelles Football Federation, at State House this morning. Also present at State House were the Minister for Youth, Sports and Family, Marceline Zalor, the Chairman of the Seychelles Football Federation, the Federation's Chief Executive Officer, Denis Rose, as well as the Principal Secretary for Sports, Ralph Jean-Louis. The talks between President Rumkalawan and Mr. Infantino focused on how FIFA can continue to help develop sports infrastructure in Seychelles to raise the level of football in the country. After leaving State House, the FIFA president visited the facilities of the Seychelles Football Federation, namely the sports facilities located at La Retraite and the AstroTurf in Victoria.
It was great to meet the president today. He's really a good person, but he's especially a great football fan, which is of course fantastic for a FIFA president to come and visit president of a country who loves the game. So we have been speaking about football development, about what football can have as an impact in this country, which is a corner of paradise in itself, and football providing so much happiness to people, especially to young boys and girls, is crucial as well. We have been launching the Football for Schools project recently, and I would like to thank the President and the Minister as well for their support. We have been discussing about talent development schemes in Seychelles for the future. We've been discussing about infrastructure, whereby the government can provide the land and we will build the football arenas and fields together with the Federation, with President Elvis Chetty and his team. And of course we've been discussing about the beach soccer World Cup, which is coming to Seychelles in 2025, and we'll make sure that it is the best beach soccer World Cup ever.
The Metropolitan Police is asking members of the public for help in their investigation on the murder of Gérard Waro, which happened in 1985. This call for anyone who has information to come forward is part of the Counter-Terrorism Command review of the 37-year-old case. Dominic Murphy, the officer in charge of the unit, says that not only do they want to identify the one who shot Mr. Waro, but also all those who were involved in what they describe as a conspiracy to murder him.
We revisited some forensic evidence. We found some new evidence as part of a review in 2016, and we will have revision regularly throughout the lifetime of the inquiry. That new information has led us to a number of investigations during 2018. It's really important that we try to identify everybody that was involved in a conspiracy to commit this murder. It was very professionally conducted at the time in 1985. But our appeal is really to anyone who has any information that might be linked to Gerard Waru, who had a high-profile political interest and personal interest in the Seychelles. And I realise 37 years is a very long time. But over that time, I hope there are people that have some information that might be useful to our investigation and might help us bring this investigation to a conclusion.
What happens if there are no new witnesses coming forward then? What happens to the case?
If they're not, and there, of course there is that risk, we will continue to investigate here and we'll regularly review the inquiry and follow any leads that we can.
And with this, we end this news summary. Have a very pleasant evening.